We had the same thing. We had rain.
Rolling.
Deborah, you have under 4 minutes. I'm going to signal to you.
Minutes, okay. Talk fast.
Enjoy.
All right, I guess first of all, Robert, can you tell us at its heart what The Human Stain is about?
The Human Stain is a rich and complex story that exists on many different levels. On one level, it is the story, as Coleman says, of a man who discovers a kind of love late in his life. It is not his first love, as he says. It is not his great love, but it is the last love. And it comes at him with such power and force that it becomes a consuming, it consumes his life. On another level, it is a story about the struggle between the promise that Western culture gives people of the individual's right to choose his or her own destiny, and is about the conflict between that and the responsibilities we owe the community that we're from and the family that we're from.
It's funny because I didn't expect to see Nicole Kidman in this role. We rarely ever see her in a role where she's, you know, sort of like trailer trash. But she pulled it off beautifully, but you had no doubt.
Never. Nicole can do anything. She can, if you look at the range of work she's done, from a movie like To Die For, you know, or Moulin Rouge, or The Others, or The Hours, playing Virginia Woolf, she can do absolutely anything. She's a great actor.
What was it like, sort of having a sort of reunion of sorts, you know?
It was great. I had worked with Ed Harris before, and like Nicole, we've always talked about working together. And then he and Nicole, they were not in any scenes together, they'd been in The Hours. I think what was great is the comfort for the director, and I hope for the other actors, in knowing that they are in the company of the best actors possible.
And I wanted to ask you, it was an interesting choice for Anthony Hopkins to play the role of Coleman Silk. Why him as opposed to, say, an African American?
Well, I think that one of the things that's critical in Philip Roth's book is that you are not supposed to know that Coleman Silk is African American, and for the first more than a third of the book. And when the revelation comes, it is a surprise. I think that was the guiding thing for all of us, is that you would not know, and then the transition between not knowing, meeting the older Coleman Silk, then meeting the younger Coleman Silk, and then finding out. But then beyond that finding out, there's another revelation that happens almost at the end of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's all these twists and turns, and then sort of like deep dark secrets at the end. It's quite a good book.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you very much. Love you to meet again. Okay.
Who?
You're Kate Blanchett.
No, I know you mean, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Speed.
There's supposedly a big party tonight.
Huh?
There's supposedly a big party tonight. I guess first of all, I wanted to ask you, Anthony. I love the passion between Coleman and Fania, but it's so unusual to see someone like Coleman, and at his age, to sort of go into this dangerous, passionate affair.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Well, I mean, could you relate to this in a way, or?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
What is it that drives him into this affair?
She seduces him. She says, "Do you want to come in?" And he said, "Huh?" And he's been, you know, his wife died, and his marriage wasn't a fulfilling marriage, but he'd accepted that in the book. It describes it. He'd accepted his sexual life was sort of over with his wife, and he was loyal to her, and they stayed in this marriage, and suddenly this devastating thing happens to him. This young woman, who's old enough to be his daughter, or young enough to be his daughter rather, said, "Do you want to come in?" And what's she got to lose? But once he's involved in it, he becomes enthralled by it. Not the sexual thing, but the passion of love, eros. And it can be devastating if you don't. It can always be devastating. Look at what happened recently in Washington, a misdemeanor like that. But it's not. It's interesting that sex is such a powerful provocative subject, because in the tabloid press, for example, in Britain, and probably the same in America, in Britain, I mean, it's rank with double-dyed hypocrisy, as if everyone's walking around in nuns' clothes, or like priests. The hell do they think they are? We're all vulnerable. Everyone is vulnerable. Nobody's perfect. So you get some guy who's got involved with a woman, and the tabloids are full of it. That kind of political correctness is the disease that, like a stench from a sewer, that is destroying everything in our society. Nobody has any privacy anymore. No. It's disgusting. I loathe it.
Do you find it more like that in Britain than in America?
Oh, it's hideous in Britain, the political correctness there, and the tabloids, and it's nauseating, disgusting.
Yeah. No,
So I don't live there anymore, for that simple reason. I think, bye.
The other scene which I loved was when you were dancing with...
Gary. Yeah, we're getting married, you know. Gary, yeah, it's great. He's a wonderful actor. We had a great time on that.
Did it? I mean, was that when you kind of looked at it? Did you think, okay, I mean, I'm going to be dancing with Gary Sinise?
Yeah, well, we had made a couple of jokes about it, and I leave messages for him. I said, she's a dancing partner here. Should we take it onto the road? But Benton was so, he said that was the thing that got him to make the movie, was that dancing. So we talked about it, and I was a little anxious, I guess, because I haven't danced and didn't think of myself as a dancer, and because I was told that I couldn't dance. And then he said, no, of course you can dance. And then I got this choreographer. She said, fine, yeah, great, just do it. You don't have to be Fred Astaire. And that was a wonderful moment of release. I thought, well, don't have to be Fred Astaire, just do the best I can. I don't have to be, as long as I can look a little graceful. I didn't realise, when I saw it last night, I thought, God, it's turning into a ballet and all that stuff. But I'm glad. I thought, well, I've done it. But I don't want to do a musical. I'm not a trained dancer. But it was fun to do that, and a great actor like Gary Sinise was wonderful to work with.
Thank you very much. It's a short time, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you want to ask another?
Okay. I was just curious as to why does Coleman feel so secure with Fania that he can tell her his deepest, darkest secrets?
Because I think he loves her. He loves her, and he cares for her, and he knows her problems, her crippling problems in the past, sexual abuse and so on. And he is a compassionate, bright man, a generous man, big-hearted. That's why he walks out of the college, because he knows their vindictive worship of mediocrity, and because he's a big, fat target for them, these minuscule people, those little tyrants of political correctness, he says, to hell with, and he walks out. He's a big man, he's got a big soul, big passion, and he understands this young girl, and he knows the suffering she's been through. He's not going to abandon her. There's no way he's going to walk out on her. He says it, he said, well, you want me to throw it in the gutter? He said, I'm not going to do that. That's devastating for her. And he stays on course, and that's his great loyalty to her. And of course, in the end, through circumstances, because of the husband, the ex-husband, they're both destroyed, and it's a terrible tragedy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a lovely, lovely film.
I'm glad you liked it.
I did.
It's really...
Which I have to ask you about that first.
Stand by and, sorry.
It's okay.
Speed?
Okay. I was talking to Anthony Hopkins about it, the lovely dance that you two do in the film.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of preparation for that? It's so charming.
We rehearsed it. You know, we got together with a choreographer in a rehearsal room and we watched the tape of Fred and Ginger doing Cheek to Cheek, and that's the music that we use. And so we watched that, picked up some moves. We worked with a choreographer. We tried some different things. We laughed all the way through our rehearsing. We got it down. We were sweating by the end. And then I think I left and then came back. I left town, came back. We rehearsed it a little more, tweaked it up a little bit, cut some stuff, shaped it a little more. And then the challenge was just to make it look spontaneous, that we didn't know what we were going to do. And I think we found a nice way to make the scene come alive. And an important element is that you watch my character, Nathan, kind of come out of himself and really become uninhibited by the end of the scene.
Oh, absolutely. It's a wonderful scene. And
Oh, good. Thank you.
talk a bit about the role of Nathan, because he's almost the sort of the seer, the interpreter.
Well, he's, in the book, he tells the story. He's the narrative voice who's observing and, reflecting and talking about what happened. And he's the writer of the book. He's a writer who can't write at the beginning of our story. He's just withdrawn from everything, disconnected from life for various reasons. He's rebound, just got divorced for a second time. That wasn't a good thing for him. He's recovering from prostate cancer surgery as a young man. That's pretty devastating. So he's got a lot that's made him just kind of isolate himself from society. And that's the way we see him at the beginning of the movie. And by the end of the movie, he's come back into the world a little bit.
Why did you want to do this film?
Why did I want to do the film? Anthony Hopkins, Robert Benton, Nicole Kidman, Ed Harris, Nicholas Meyer, great screenwriter, Philip Roth, great novelist. There's a lot of pedigree there. There's a lot of good people involved, and I thought this would be a really quality group of people to be around for a couple of months.
And the story, too, though, is fascinating. I mean, what it says about race in America and political correctness, I mean, I find it very relevant even today.
Yeah, you can't easily dismiss the movie. I mean, it's a thought-provoking film that deals with serious things. There's a lot of tragedy in the movie. There's some humor, but it's definitely an adult drama, and it's not the kind of movie you can just go see and then go have a pizza and not think about. I don't think. I think, it's the kind of movie that makes you think about certain things, and the kind of movie that you can see twice and get a lot more out of it the second time. It's a very powerful movie. I'm proud to be in it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is. It's a very powerful film.
Okay.